recent times, the relationship between Sudan and Turkey has greatly improved. Today, we are here at the Embassy of Sudan in Ankara to sit with His Excellency Nader Yusuf El Tayeb, the Ambassador of Sudan to Ankara, to discuss this development.
Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Dialogues. Today we're at the Sudanese Embassy, sitting with His Excellency Nader Yusuf El Tayeb. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to start with Türkiye Sudan, the relationship between the two countries. In light of regional and global developments, what is the significance of this relationship for international diplomacy?
Well, thank you very much. It is my pleasure and honor to be your guest today, and welcome to Sudan Embassy. I'm very much pleased to address the audience of AFROTURK, which has been very famous and very well known in Africa. And then our embassy was opened here in 1982. We believe that Turkey has played a very significant role in promoting the relation with Sudan, and also in promoting the situation in Sudan regionally and internationally. Since this war started, our rebellion started, Turkey has been strongly supporting the legitimate government in Sudan. The embassy of Turkey is still open there in Port Sudan. They are operating there, and they are always calling for the keeping and preserving internal integrity and stability of Sudan, refusing any kind of dividing Sudan or any kind of insecurity. They also being the voice in some regional organizations to tell what is happening in Sudan, because there is some sort of wrong perception about what's happening in Sudan. So I think Turkey played a very important role during this 2.5 years of war, which is very positive. We are very thankful, very supportive. Last month, His Excellency President Al-Burhan was here on an official visit to convey thanks and to express our thanks as Sudanese people to His Excellency President Erdogan for what he's doing in favor of the peace and stability for the people of Sudan.
Okay, thank you very much for that. In light of, the current political and humanitarian crisis, as you've just mentioned, how would you have the international community understand it better? And what are the most urgent needs at this stage?
Well, this is a very important question. I think there is a wrong perception of what's happening in Sudan, which also lead to, of course, wrong conclusions. It's what happened in Sudan is a rebellion. It started as a rebellion and then an act of aggression. Because the rebellion was from this terrorist militia started in April 15, 2023. When they failed to capture the power, then they targeted the civilians, targeted infrastructure, with support from us, namely from UAE, who was supporting them with the arms, mercenaries. So even there are thousands of mercenaries from more than 10 countries right now fighting beside this terrorist militia against the Sudanese people. So what's happening is a rebellion, is an act of aggression against a state. That's why the international community should understand the best way to resolve this thing is to stop any outside support to this militia, and to condemn this kind of actions by the militia through international mechanism of justice, because they have committed genocide, ethnic cleansing, and al-Fashid. It was very clear. The whole world have seen, and we have seen the whole world demonstrating against that. They did all this also in Khartoum, in Jazeera state. They targeted the civilians, targeted the infrastructure. So it is very clear that these are war crimes, act of aggression, which should be subject to international investigation and international justice. So the international community, if they want to help, they should call a spade a spade. They should try to corner this terrorist militia. What's happening in many countries, when it happens, there is an insecurity against state, sovereign state. And they also stop the outside intervention and support. to the militia, so that we can also speak about that the peace. We are now as a government, as a civilian government, led by the Prime Minister, Professor Nader Yusuf, we announced a peace initiative which has been declared last month in front of the Security Council. This peace initiative was launched and initiated by the Sudanese government to show us, express our own vision regarding the settlement of this thing, which has about 4 or 5 pillars, mainly the ceasefire, which should be supervised and monitored by international organizations, UN and regional, like Arab League and African Union. The second thing also, they should put down arms. This militia should put down arms immediately and regroup. They should leave also the houses, the civilian areas, because this has been also been very clearly stated in Jeddah Declaration, which was signed by them in May 2023 in Saudi Arabia, upon the mediation from United States and Saudi Arabia. So they should put down arms, as well as get reassembled out of these civilian areas, in certain areas. And then for those people who have committed crimes, we have proved that they have committed crimes, they should be also subject to justice and trial. Those who have not can also be considered to be reintegrated in the armed forces. Also, we, according to this peace initiative, there is also attention for the returning and for the people who have been displaced and the refugees. More than 10 million people have been displaced out of their houses. So we have to make sure they're safe, return back to their homes, and support them to resume their lives there in Khartoum and other states. This is also very, very important. And then also we have the sector for peace negotiations and trying to reach a comprehensive peace formula for the whole Sudan, which is include all the political, every Sudanese should be included to say their voice and view about the future of Sudan. And eventually we will come to the free and fair elections after that, because this is a transitional period. So this government will try to supervise and implement this peace initiative until they hand over to an elected government after the end of the transitional period. So we hope that the international community will help and support us to execute this peace initiative. Thank for Turkey, who has been showed support. African Union showed their support. Arab League showed their support. Many countries and many international and regional organizations have showed their support to this peace initiative.
So you mentioned Turkey specifically supports Sudan, and we're curious how Turkey specifically does that in comparison to other international community.
Well, let's be very fair and very frank. Turkey has been, as I said from the beginning, from day one, has been very supportive to Sudan, because they understand the mechanisms there, and they are being fair to help the people of Sudan. They sent more than 12,000 tons of food and medicine and shelter to Sudanese people throughout this period. They are being very supportive through their agencies like TICA, which is now operating in Sudan. They implemented more than 16 projects. Like Ziraat Bank, they already resumed their work there in Sudan. And as I said, even the embassy of Turkey has been very active during this time. So Turkey's performance is very well advanced compared to others. Also, we can remember that in 2024, I believe, His Excellency President Erdogan initiated, I can say, an initiative to resolve the conflict between Sudan and UAE, because I believe that he understands very well the cause of this. The cause of prolonging this conflict is the UAE adamant help and support to this terrorist militia. So when he announced his initiative, we feel that he knows that UAE should stop and should consider that it's really helping this war to continue and also taking part of these crimes. We are very thankful for Turkey, when they announced this, we immediately welcome this initiative, because we trust President Erdogan, we trust Turkey. Turkey has a regional and international weight in resolving many conflicts, like what's happening here between Azerbaijan and Armenia, Turkey, Russia, and Ukraine. So has a very long history of mediation and conflict resolution. That is why we feel that very far ahead compared to many other actors in helping Sudan, and in also being very clear about the security, integrity, and stability of Sudan.
So you mentioned, Turkey has been helping, for to move this development further. Let's talk about stabilization and the reconstruction process in Sudan. How do you assess the role of the international cooperation, and what part do you think stronger global support is most needed?
Well, this is a very important question. As you said, now we are heading for the post-conflict era, because I hope that this will happen very soon. So we need, first of all, as I said, for the return of the people who have been displaced, the more than 10 million. I mentioned this in when speaking about peace initiative. So in order for those people to get back to their houses and homes, they need a good infrastructure. Now, this terrorist militia totally destroyed the infrastructure in Khartoum. No electricity and water, drinking water, and even the environment has also been affected. So we need a real help and support from international community for the reconstruction of electricity sector, for reconstruction of water system, hospitals, health, because they destroyed many hospitals. So we need also education. Have the more than 40 universities has totally been destroyed or partially. So this need a real support from the international community. I believe now we are in a very good position with regard to food, because fortunately Sudan production of food this year has been alhamdulillah very big. It is Eastern Sudan, Northern Sudan, where the fighting is in the far west. So Eastern, Central, and Western Sudan is business as usual. So there is huge production of especially grains, which is the main for the main food for the Sudanese people. So we feel that we need, for the infrastructure development and reconstruction, is a priority, even for the airport to operate Khartoum Airport. And of course, also out of that, we need to ensure the security, and to ensure that the people, when they go back home, will be secured. Because one of the main reasons for the people to leave their houses is that they were not secure. They were attacked by this terrorist militia, and they are not, confident that if they come back, also the militia can, by any means or another, also disturb them. So to ensure security is very important. This also, the international community, if they do firmly some steps towards this terrorist militia, this will happen also. I always try to compare between this what's happening in Sudan, this terrorist militia, what is it doing against the civilians, with what's happening in Turkey here with this PKK, for example, because they also destabilizing the country, targeting civilians, bombarding. All these kind of terrorist actions have been done for a long time. But we are very thankful God, and very happy that Turkish wise leadership has managed to come to a position or to reach a position when the PKK decide to put down their arms and to dissolve themselves as a military and to come for peace negotiation, for settlement. This is a very good step. We hope that this Malaysia and Sudan will also follow suit and stop fighting and then dissolve themselves as a military and come back to reasoning because they are Sudanese, so those people have not committed any crimes. Of course, they can also be reintegrated with the army. So I believe Turkey has played and is still playing a very important role, and we hope that we will learn from their experience.
Regarding, in general, the future of Sudan, is there a key concept you would like to convey to the international community as a whole?
Well, actually, this is very important. I feel that we hope that people will leave us alone. Actually, the many kinds of interference in Sudan, involvement in Sudan politics, meddling. This is one of the reasons which prolong this conflict and instability in Sudan. So those who are genuinely would like to support Sudan, they are welcome, and we will be very pleased and happy to share with them our requests and our needs together. But those people are working actually to destabilize Sudan, to disturb Sudan. This is the main reason for the last, since independence of Sudan, we are being suffering from that. All those people who are being outsiders in certain countries, just would like them to stop. We are capable of running our country, capable of reuniting our people, of managing the social fabric together. And this applies to all Africa, actually. Many African countries, until now, they're really suffering from this interference. I think now we are no longer being colonized by any country, but the post-colonial era, which is right now, they are coming with new agenda, with new techniques to continue their interference and destabilization of our countries and our region by using, unfortunately, some weak points and some weak people who are conspiring against their own nation and their own people. So for the future, we need a real partners. We always see Turkey as a very good model for that, because it has very good friendship with all African countries in a win-win formula. This is a very important formula, which is very practical, because if you would like to invest in Sudan, we are very happy and we'll be very pleased to share with you whatever product of this investment will be shared between me and you. It's a win-win formula, which is very fair and very open and very transparent. Unfortunately, these powers, they would like to take our resources, African resources, gold, rare earth minerals, diamond, and to take it for themselves and to leave our people very poor and also fighting each other. So that when they are fighting each other, that means we are not going to find time and energy for development. That's what they like. They will keep us always backward so that they can utilize our resources. So the message for the whole international community, just to stop meddling, to stop interfering, and if they would like to to engage in positive dialogue with Sudan, we'll be very pleased and very happy to deal with them.
Your Excellency, how can Sudan's vast agricultural resources, we know that the country itself is vastly gifted in this sector, how can it be strategically leveraged, specifically through a partnership with Turkey? and, bringing in Turkey's technology and the expertise. So enhance productivity in Sudan.
Well, this is a very smart question. I think we are giving part of the answers. I totally agree with you. We have vast agricultural resources. Sudan is endowed with more than 47 or 40,000 million hectares of arable land in both rain-fed and irrigated through the river and also from groundwater. And we have a variety of soil and climate. So it's really, I think we were gifted by God that even the land itself is very well prepared because it's vast land. So we are looking for partners for a long time, looking for partners because Sudan has been classified by the FAO as granary of Africa, and also one of 3 or 4 countries who can cover the world food gap. For food security, Sudan is one of 3 countries, I think Canada, Sudan, and Australia. So we are very happy that Turkey also have the same understanding, the government. We have the main mechanism, the Joint Ministerial Commission, which is holding its meeting from time to time. Is chaired by the Ministers of Agriculture in Sudan and Turkey. This is also significant. This means that agriculture is important for Turkey and for Sudan. That is why the chairmanship of this committee has been given to the Ministers of Agriculture in both countries. We have an agreement or MOU signed between the government of Sudan and a very big project in Sudan called Al-Hawad. Al-Hawad is 1 million hectare and it's signed January 2023 with TIGAM and Minister of Agriculture in Turkey to develop this area. We start with a pilot project so that we can employ this technology, the Turkish technology, in increasing productivity, reducing cost, and also in bringing new varieties of products in foods, vegetables, and fruits. This project is very promising. We hope that we will very soon move towards implementation. Other projects also are being discussed between the 2 governments and 2 countries on agriculture and increasing productivity in northern Sudan, especially in River Nile state and northern state. So the potential is great, and we have a strong belief Turkey will be a model and trusted partner.
And focusing again on agriculture, interventions, the most immediate intervention for stabilizing the food supply, rural communities, and post-conflict recovery. How can we understand that better? What are some immediate solutions that could be implemented?
Well, actually, as I said earlier, fortunately, right now, since this war started, the food production has been stable and good, especially in the areas where there is no fighting. But the real intervention which is needed is to we need to increase and to support our capabilities, the infrastructure related to agricultural production, the value chain, because we need to have good storage, we have good infrastructure, roads, and so that we can ensure that our production will also be preserved and well stored, and also be transferred outside of Sudan. So whatever kind of support or help is needed for the infrastructure will help to increase productivity, and also to make people comfortable, especially those people who will come back after this war can also resume their activities. Also, we need to involve the youth more and more, because unfortunately agriculture at this time is not appealing for the youth, the young people. They prefer working government or going abroad out of Sudan, which we believe that this also has to be reconsidered. We have as a government to maybe implement a policy that will encourage the young people and the youth to start their own initiatives as entrepreneurs, as farmers, as modern farmers to employ the modern techniques so that they can increase productivity and production. So we feel that after this war, we will come with a new vision and to encourage the young people and the youth to also getting more and more involved in agricultural production. Of course, with using new techniques that can help increase productivity and reduce also the cost.
So talking about modern techniques, you mentioned new techniques coming in. What sustainable models of cooperation and joint investments do you think can be developed between Sudanese and Turkish private and public sectors to support, and what kind of policies do you think are needed to support this kind of partnerships?
Well, yes, this is also an important question. Actually, we have a good cooperation. Turkey has always focused on agriculture, as I said from the beginning. We receive hundreds of scholarships every year from Turkey to Sudanese students for postgraduate and undergraduate. We focus on agriculture. We have maybe tens of Sudanese who got PhD and masters in agriculture universities or colleges here in Turkey. This will also make the base for any transfer or any development in this field in Sudan when they go back to Sudan. They are already working hard together with their Turkish counterparts here to develop their own understanding, because whatever we lack in Sudan is here, so they can also get acquainted with this, and when they come back, I think this will help a lot. Also, we have a partnership between universities. For example, the big universities. There is a university which is mainly focused on agriculture in Konya. In Konya, this university is being very well known as very well specialized. They have a very big business in agro production, in seed production. So they sent, even their rector was there in Sudan last September or October. He visited many universities there, and he came up with some strategy to also transfer through technology through this partnership with universities and also with private sector. They can have some pilot projects so that they can implement the technology here in Turkey. Also, we have TIGAM. TIGAM is also doing very well this on research, agro research. So we need also to enhance our relation with TIGAM and other institutions that deal with research and R&D. By the way, we import all our seeds from Turkey here, especially for the wheat. So also the idea is to develop and to transfer this technology so that we can produce the seeds there in Sudan with the help of Turkey. And this also can help to enhance the production. Also, the private sector should be involved heavily. We have the Chamber of Commerce of Sudan, where we have the DECAN and Mossiad in Turkey. They are working together to encourage the business people, the private sector, to get also to invest in agriculture. As you know, also the farming machines, the machinery. Most of the machinery which is used in farming in Sudan is Turkish machinery, especially from Konya and other towns which produce tractors and machines. So also we would like to have some sort of partnership that can transfer this technology to Sudan. We can have assembling areas there, especially in free trade area. We can have assembling for these tractors and these machines, not only for Sudan, maybe for Sudan and for the rest of Africa. So this is also one of the areas of cooperation. We also feel that in terms of trade, we can also have some sort of agreements. There is already the agreements are there, just the implementation for exporting Turkish products to Africa through Sudan, for example, Comisa region, for example, Arab region, and from Sudan to Europe through Turkey, because both countries can play this role so that we can have an access to the African market through Sudan and to the European market through Turkey. As you know, also we have very huge animal wealth, more than 100 million head of cattle and sheep in Sudan. Also developing this in help and support with Turkey, so that we can also penetrate other markets, because there is a high need for this kind of products in Europe and other countries.
You're actually touching on my next question, which is, right now, most of the focus is on primary production in Sudan, but as it transforms more to an export market, how can Sudan-Turkey cooperation support this transformation of doing more exporting to other international communities?
Yes, you are absolutely right. I feel that also we should always think of adding value to our products. Instead of exporting them as primary, we can we process them and add value. This is also the idea and the strategy of Turkey to add value to. For example, I always give this example. We have as the season, the time when there is production, we lose a lot of our products because of very poor, storage system. I say always we produce mangoes, which is highly needed and demanded internationally. But during the season of crop, the mangoes, the price of mango is less than the price of the box for packing. It's very cheap. Sometimes they just throw them because they cannot afford to buy the box and to sell. So we are always saying that for mango, for onions, for lemon, these things during the season of production, if we have a system of storage and transport, proper system, then we can add huge value to our product, and also we can also help the farmer to sustain his work and to develop himself, because the farmers sometimes they get peanuts when they produce these products at the season, and they cannot have the capability to store them because these are perishable things. Also, gum arabic, we produce 90% of international production of gum arabic. It has many uses internationally. Unfortunately, we export the ton, I think, for $3,000 or $4,000. When it's get for final use, the ton is $50,000. It goes to some European countries and be decoded, given a new code. The same gum arabic is used in cosmetics. It's used as a essential ingredient to Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola. You cannot find even alternative to it. When the Americans imposed sanctions on Sudan in the early 90s, the Pepsi-Cola company, they complained to the American administration. They said, if you impose sanction on Sudan, then we are not going to get this cheap gum arabic, which is going to affect our industry. So if you go, you can Google that. If you go and check, it's only gum arabic is being exempted from these sanctions for the benefit of those people, of those industry, to make sure that they will not be affected. The farmers, they are very poor. Gum arabic belts are very poor. They don't find even sometimes enough food, because they sell this product for, as I said, maximum $3,000 per ton. They send it to France, I think, and to other countries, and then being decoded. After that, re-exported for as I said, for this as ingredient of this kind of juices and drinks, as well as cosmetics, as well as medicines. Because there are also some studies prove that gum arabic is very useful for those people who are having kidney problems. They can there been, some empirical study which proves that if you can drink gum Arabic, then you can reduce the dialysis. And even in the future, they can make it just to cure this problem of kidney because purify blood. So these are the things which we believe that if you get the technology, if we get the ownership of this thing, then we can control the market and we can benefit the farmers. Farmer then instead of being for middle people, this amount of money which is more than 5-10 times the price, it has to be the benefit of the farmer, this poor farmer. So with Turkey we can do this, and Turkey is very keen and very helpful, and they already TIGAM is doing its level best. TICA is working also in industry in Sudan with very small projects, but they are very educative. Also, we're looking for vocational training center. We have to get training center for Sudanese farmers and Sudanese young people, whether they come here to Turkey or they establish these training centers in Sudan. Already TICA established one center in Khartoum, but we are looking for more and more training, vocational training for farmers specifically, so that they can learn the technology to increase productivity. The irrigation system is very complicated. Yes, we have abundance of water, but generally water is rare and short resource. So we have to do it to consume it in a very appropriate way, so that it can be useful and it can also help in other areas. So I believe that we are very keen to consolidate our partnership with Turkey in agriculture, and I hope this will be reflected on the welfare of our people.
Definitely. Talking about training centers and universities, what role can agricultural research play in revitalizing the Sudan's agricultural sector, and in the great use of in the sustainable use rather of natural resources?
Well, yes, absolutely. This is very important, and we have research institutes and centers in Sudan, but unfortunately they are not very well developed due to instability and a lot of shortcomings. They weren't able to come to up to date. That is why also Turkey is giving hand through as I said, TIGAM, through those universities. I just gave one example for training and so I believe that this role is very important for us for this time. We can increase productivity, we can bring more varieties of products according to the market. We have some can say isolated or single attempts and endeavors by some farmers, some Turkish farmers. I know one of them is working in Sudan, and he's bringing some Turkish farmers to train the Sudanese farmers. He's doing very well. I hope one day you can also interview him. During this time when there is fighting and war, he has never left Sudan. He's in northern Sudan, and he's having more than, let us say, 50 acres or hectares of land producing. And he told me he would like to bring a farmer from South Turkey, from Hatay, to help Sudanese farmers, not only for his farm. He's also going to train the others voluntarily and free of charge to grow new varieties, because he feels that the environment is the same as his in Hatay. The degree of heat, water resource, and everything is similar. That was last year. I don't know what is happening now, but he came and he took 2 or 3 farmers from that region to help. So training is very important. R&D is very important. I totally agree with you. Turkish are doing very well in seed improvement. We have, as I said, we import seeds from Turkey, but now they have more than 80 varieties of wheat seeds, which are also we are going to examine and to develop them. So this is now the time even for using drones, for example. Turkey is very well advanced in drones for civil use as well. So we're also going to employ the drones from Turkey here to help assess the crop, to fight the pesticides and those things. So I hope and I'm very much confident that this is one of the areas, very important areas that can help to develop this sector in Sudan, and not only for Sudan, maybe for the whole region, to have food security, because we believe if you really manage to utilize these resources properly, we can feed the whole region.
So with AFROTURK TV's newest channel, which is AFROTURK Agro TV, which is thematically an agriculture channel, how do you evaluate this with Turkey's contributions to the African continent?
The idea of having this channel itself is a very smart idea. I really would like to salute administration of AFROTURK. It's a very smart idea. It's going to link the people of Africa with Turkey. It's going to benefit the people. It's educative, especially in agriculture. I believe it's going to contribute a lot, because there is a lot of lack of information for both Africa and Turkey. So it's going to raise the awareness of the people, because we used to import, for example, most of our agro machineries from other countries. I wouldn't name them, but other countries which are more expensive and not very good in quality. But we discovered that Turkey has a very advanced industry in agro machineries, like tractors, like the other machineries used for irrigation, for planting. So we discovered that just by experience. So when you have such a channel which addresses the farmers in Africa and in Turkey as well, this will help our people to benefit and get the best quality of machineries and technology from Turkey, so that they can increase their production, and also will help Turkish business people to know more and more about Africa, and to also to try to invest there, to have partnership with African business and farmers. I think the only thing we should need also to adjust is the language, because for example in Africa people they don't speak Turkish, so it's good that you can have the English language channel. As well, you can also have a Turkish version that can address the Turkish farmers and business people that give what's happening in Africa. And I advise you also to have some correspondents in Africa who can also be very useful. Last December or October, I attended the Africa-Turkey Trade Forum in Istanbul. Were you there? So there is a lady from South Africa. She delivered a very good speech about agriculture and self-sufficiency, and about her own self-motivation to be a farmer. She was very proud to tell her experience and how she managed to go through a very difficult time. Now she's producing and for export and for the local market. So this kind of exposure is very important for our people both in Africa and Turkey to know each other and to have this networking connectivity. It will definitely help both Turkey and Africa to develop cooperation in this very important vital field for both Africa and Turkey. We are very thankful as African ambassador here. I'm very thankful for AFROTURK for focusing on agriculture, to have a channel specifically for agriculture. I really salute the administration for this very smart idea.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for sitting with us and taking time out of your day. I learned so much, and I know our viewers learned a lot too. It's a very important subject to us.
And thank you for sharing your thoughts on diplomacy, agriculture, and the future of Sudan with us.
Thank you very much. I'm very much honored, and it's a pleasure and honor for me. I hope this will be the first, but not the last. We can continue having more and more discussion and interviews. This will definitely add to your very good contribution towards linking Africa and Turkey together. Thank you very much.
Dear viewer, keep watching AFROTURK TV.